I have shared this with all my besties and I promise you they're all like, this is the best foundation that I have ever used. I'm going to apply it, but I'm also going to add in some really important makeup artistry tips that you can use with your existing foundation. So you can see dark circles, I have patchy skin on my forehead where I get psoriasis. Let me start off by applying this foundation to this side of my face first of all, so you can see the difference it makes. So I put a little bit on the back of my hand. When I apply my foundation, I will use my ring finger and I will tap where I feel I need coverage most. Now remember, I'm only going to this side of my face first of all. When you want more coverage, you're going to pat, okay? When you want least coverage, you're going to sheer like this. Areas where I don't need so much coverage, I start to sheer out and feather and kind of blend like this. So remember, it's pat for more coverage and wipe and feather for least. This foundation, I would say, is a medium to full coverage foundation. And I think typically the word medium to full coverage can scare people. But if you apply it in the way I'm showing you, you will need less foundation, but the parts of your face you really need to perfect look flawless. Like really quickly, minimal effort. So I don't have any foundation here, okay? You can see I've got a bit of discoloration there, a bit of psoriasis there. So now let's sheer, but I don't need as much coverage, so I'm just going to sheer. I'm going to add a little bit more from the back of my hands and then just sheer. Can you see what a difference this has made already? It feels weightless. Now, the other thing you want to do with your foundation is take it, not loads, but just massage it under your jawline and feather it down into your neck. Not a lot, you don't have to do full coverage on your neck or anything like that. But if your foundation, if you want it to look really natural, it's making sure you blend it down and feather it just a little bit into your neck. And I would also say, if you're wearing your hair up, like I have psoriasis on the top of my ear, I will take a little bit on my hands here and just put a little bit on the top of my ears. Now that's only if I'm wearing my hair up, and that's, for me, it's because I have psoriasis on my ears and I want to make my ears look the same colour. Okay, what a difference. I mean, look. Remember, I've only used my fingers. Let's pat a little bit more under my eye. Now I'm going to share with you a really good tip. As we get older, our eyes start to hood. So what we're going to do is we're going to play up the natural discoloration on our lids. So I don't have any foundation here. This is just discoloration. But if I take my pinky finger and just tap this foundation onto my brow bone only, so not here, just my brow bone, I'm going to perfect my brow bone, but make my discoloration on my eye look like it's eyeshadow, and it gives me a little eye lift. So I'll show you the difference. So here I'm leaving the discoloration, and then on this eye I'm going to cover this all with the foundation. You'll see what a difference that little tip makes. Plus it's got the added benefit is you don't need to put any foundation here, so you don't have to worry about any creasing. So what are we thinking? I think that looks really, really natural. Now, if you want to go one step further, then of course I love my Cosmic Glow, which is a Radiance booster. So I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand, and this I'll show you, it adds really beautiful radiance. You see? I will add this to the top of my cheekbone, just here. I'll also add it down the center of my nose. Now I'm going to do the other side of my face because I want to show you another technique for applying your foundation. Remember, I'm hoping the tips I'm sharing, you can look at these products, there's links, or you can just use these tips with the makeup you already own. The most important thing is that you gain something from watching this video, that you gain the knowledge to really have confidence with your makeup. Okay, so now let's do this side of my face, and then I'm going to show you how to make your foundation at home look super natural. Super, super natural. Okay, so now this side I'm going to do slightly differently. I'm going to take my Cosmic Glow, put it on the back of my hand, a little dot like that. Oh, thanks for the little hearts, everyone. I really appreciate that, especially when you're doing a live video. It's just nice to know there's real people behind the screen. It's lovely. So 2 dots, Cosmic Glow and my Fave foundation, mixed together on the back of my hand. I've now created a more sheerer foundation that's glowy. And this time, I'm not going to do the patting technique. I'm just going to do the quick, I'm in a rush technique. And this technique is perfect for all of us in the mornings that are like, I just need to look half decent in seconds. So wiping all on my face, wiping, it's not even a good term, is it? But let's face it, in the mornings, that's what we feel like doing. Blending in, and then if you haven't got a lot, can you see where I've mixed the Cosmic Glow in to the foundation? It's a lot more glowy and it's a bit sheerer. But I'm showing you all different things you can do with your makeup. So if you wanted to sheer out your full coverage foundation, you could mix it with your moisturiser. You wouldn't get the radiance, but you would sheer it out and it would look beautiful. Then I'm going to take my Kabuki brush. This is a genius little brush. It has mixed bristles, all vegan, thick at the base and then fine at the tip, which gives you the luxury of blending. This is great for if you're doing your makeup in the mornings, you don't have great light, and you need your foundation to look natural. This is like your insurance. You just go over the top with this brush and it blends it all for you. Now, do you remember I said to you on this eye, I'm going to cover the lid, so we're not using the discoloration of the eyelid to work for our eyes, because by leaving this discoloration, this actually gives us a little hooded eye lift. So I'm now going to take the foundation, I'm not going to sheer it out, and I'm going to apply this all over my lid. So I'm covering up the discoloration because I want you to see the difference. So then you've got choices of what you want to do at home. I like to show you as many different ways as possible so then you can decide. Now, I think this eye, where I haven't covered my discoloration but just perfected my brow bone with the foundation, looks bigger and more open than this side. But I'll leave that up to you, you decide. If you are going to put foundation on your lids, then I would say you're going to need a good translucent powder. This one is brilliant. It's micro fine. It's a beautiful product. I put it on a fluffy brush, tap it off, and then just dust on my lid. Like so. If you're someone that likes a really matte foundation, I think this one with the Cosmic Glow has a nice glow to it. That's what I like. But if you wanted your foundation to look matte, I would say do this next tip, but always leave your cheekbones free of any translucent powder, because when our cheekbones glow, it gives us a natural lifted look to our bone structure. Plus, it makes our foundation look natural, because no one really, to have a totally matte face can be a little bit, well, I think skin looks just pretty when it has a little glisten to it, and it's really nice to let your cheekbones glisten. So if you want a matte look, then you would take a powder puff, put it into your translucent powder, and then you're just going to use the translucent powder to set key areas. So center of the chin, around the nose, center of the forehead, but essentially you don't have to put powder all over your face. I don't think this foundation needs powder, but I'm just showing you techniques in case you're like, oh, that's useful to know. So my face now looks quite perfected. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to wipe off the foundation from my eyelid, because I prefer the discoloration of my natural eye, because I think that kind of gives me that natural lift. The reason this gives you a natural lift is because when your eyelid is darker than your brow bone, the darkness in the socket gives you a natural eye lift, okay? Because anything that's kind of light is going to push forward. Anything that's darker is going to sink back. And when we make sure this part in particular is a little bit darker, then that sinks back and our eyes look more lifted because our brow bone looks higher. Now, if you don't get the same effect with your discoloration, then you can take a bronzer like this one, take your fluffy brush, and you can create that little bit of discoloration with your bronzer. So let's do that now. What I also like to do is with the leftover on my brush, with my bronzer, I will squeeze the brush and I will just run it across my under waterline like so. Now what that does, I think, is just gives me a very subtle smokiness to my eye in a very natural way. Now whilst we've got bronzer, it's a really important technique for if, like me, you like your skin to look perfected. I don't think it's a look that everyone likes. For me, it just gives me that little bit more confidence because I have psoriasis and quite dark circles. But I don't think this looks like I've got loads of foundation on, but I certainly don't want my skin to look all one colour because it's almost too much like a little doll face. So you want to add in more colour back to it, and to do that you're going to take a very natural shade of bronzer like this one. Okay, this is beautiful because it's not totally matte, so let's see if it will pick up on screen. Probably not, but it does in real life. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's got kind of, can you see, it's almost got like a radiance to it, and I think that looks really, really pretty. So let's load up our brush, and you'll notice I'm not using a big bronzing brush because I don't want to get a full kind of whole bronze look. I just want to get a gentle sculpt. So to do that, I'm using this angled brush. I'm going to start at the back of my cheekbone, so by the top of my ear, and I'm just going to knock that colour down like that. And you'll see, I'll just do this side first, you'll see that just by adding a touch of colour back into my skin that I've perfected, it gives my face more dimension, and that dimension makes your foundation look more natural. Put a little bit on my jawline, down my neck, dust on the bridge of my nose, and I'll also just add a little bit extra to the top of my cheekbone here. Now can you see, I think this side looks a lot more natural. Let's do the other side. So just flick it down like that. The reason I'm telling you to flick it down is because it will naturally give you a contoured look. If you take your brush, I'm not going to do it, and go, you're going to get that line. But if you use this technique, it's almost like flick, flick. It naturally tapers the look of that contour, which contour is just creating shadow, isn't it? And no shadow is really like that. It starts at a base and then it thins out to nothing. And this little technique I'm teaching you like that basically creates that look for you without needing to be a fancy makeup artist. So I like to teach you things. I've been a makeup artist for over 25 years. And I feel like my job on this planet is to help you with your makeup, help you make it easier, help show you shortcuts, show you what you can do, help you feel confident with makeup. See it as something fun, nothing to be scared of. Don't take it too seriously. It can all be wiped off. It's just about your creative expression. It's time for you in the mornings. We don't get any time to ourselves. This is like the one time you can be like, yeah, put some nice music on and enjoy yourself. It's like, you know. So I think that looks quite natural. I mean, I haven't spent loads of time doing it. I'm doing it that mirror, but can't speak mirror. So what I do next is, and I always do this when I'm doing a client's makeup, I'll have the hair back, and then if you're someone that likes to wear your hair like down, perhaps it's in a little bob or you've got long hair, I will always at this point take the hair down, because I want to see, however you're styling your hair, how the hair plays off against the rest of the face. So for me, I'm like, right, I need a little bit more colour on my lips because I've got very pale lips. But because I want to keep this quite natural, I'm using like quite a nudie brown shade. And this has got a strip of hyaluronic acid in the middle, so it's great for mature lips because it moisturizes. It's kind of like a lipstick and a balm had a baby. And I will apply this, but it's almost like your lips but better color. So let's apply this to my lips. Very natural. Then I might take a little bit, pop it on my cheeks like that, just so that it marries up the colour of the lipstick. And then as a final little touch, I'll take a little bit of the Cosmic Glow, just a tiny bit, pat it again onto the top of my cheekbones just to add that glow again. You can add up as much or as little as you like. And then in just a sec, I'm going to show you who's been waiting for me in the background. So a little bit on my cheeks, down the centre of my nose. I will put a little bit on my eyelids just to add a bit of radiance to my eyelids. So as it won't look like eyeshadow, but what it will do is as you kind of move your eyes throughout the day, it will just add a little bit of gleam and a bit of natural it's not sparkly, it's kind of radiant. On my Cupid's bow, middle of my lips. Whew! What do we think? Do we like those tips? I'm excited to show you more. Right, let me just show you who's been waiting in the background. Hang on. Come here, come on. So she has been waiting in the background. She's so we've got 6 dogs. This is one of them. 4 come to work with me, 2 go to work with my husband. But Baby Boo, that's her name. She literally is like, she's kind of like my gatekeeper. She just doesn't want to leave my side. So yeah. But full disclosure, this is probably where I just tell too much information. I put her on the back on the bed to wait for me. And she can't jump down because she's too little. Like, she's got the tiniest legs. Look, she's tiny little legs. She couldn't jump down, and I didn't notice that she needed the wee, and she's actually done a wee on the bed. So right after filming this, I've got to go and strip the bed and wash it. But we don't mind because she's a cutie. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this live. I hope you feel you've learned something. If you want to see anything that I've used, there's links. What else to tell you? I've got a free beauty course. If you just comment Beauty Secrets, I will send you that. So Beauty Secrets, and you'll get my free 7-day course where I teach you everything that you could possibly wish to know about skincare, makeup, everything to help you feel confident. And last but not least, today we have an offer whereby if you use code 20, you will get 20% off your order when you buy 3 or more items, just to help everyone out with with everything. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and see you soon in another live. I cannot speak. Whew. Bye. Use code 20 for 20% off 3 makeup must-haves today in my store, Beauty and the Boutique.